Hey folks, this is Iratron. Hope you're doing great. Thanks for joining us tonight as we are bringing you a review for Rare Replay, and of course that is on the Xbox One. And gosh, what a fantastic collection. I can't wait to talk about it in detail. For all you guys who have been fans of Rareware games, this is not going to disappoint. It's not all flowers and sunshine though. There are a few errors and issues with this title that I feel like as though it kind of hampers the experience, but it's definitely not enough to deter me from playing this game. And yeah, so we'll go into detail about that later. Let's go ahead and jump into the titles that this game provides. Now, as most of you know, there are 30 games included on this disc. We have Jetpack. We also have Lunar Jetman. We have Attic Attack. I have no idea what that game is about. We'll have to play it together. We also have Saber Wolf. We have Underworld. Love the spelling there. We have Night Lore. We have Gunfight, Gunright, and Solomon. And of course, RC Pro-Am. Wow. Cobra Triangle. We have Snake, Rattle, and Roll. Solar Jetman. Digger Teep Rock. Battletoads, one of the hardest games known to man. We also have RC Pro-Am 2, Battletoads, the Arcade Edition, Killer Instinct Gold, Blast Core, Banjo-Kazooie, fantastic game, Jet Force Gemini, fantastic game, Perfect Dark, we have Banjo-Tooie, the sequel, we have Conker's Bad Fur Day, not for children, we have Grabbed by the Ghoulies, we have Cameo, Perfect Dark Zero, Viva Pinata, Jetpack Refueled, and Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise, and Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts. So, you know, it's pretty interesting. So you see all these games here, you'd think that you'd be able to just, you know, select one and then play it off of the disc. Well, that is not the case. Just as with most Xbox One titles, it wants to install it to your hard drive, right? So this guy packs in at about 40 gigs, something along those lines. Check this out. So we go under my games and apps and all that good stuff, and you can see that we have a boatload of titles installed and whatnot. But check this out. Each one of the Xbox 360 games, they must be installed. So, you know, if it was an Xbox Live title, get ready, you're about to lose some hard drive space. So, Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, all that good stuff, and you may have the ability to select which games are to be installed, but, you know, I just popped in the disc and I turned the television off and let the thing just install what it pleased, and installed all these automatically, so I guess I can probably go in and uninstall them if I don't want them present. But anyway, so we have Cameo lurking around. We also have these titles here, and notice how they have the Xbox 360 logo there off to the left of the image, just notifying you that these were original Xbox 360 titles. And it's pretty interesting. Once you actually load the game, like the Xbox 360 titles, it basically loads up an emulator of sorts, which I find to be pretty interesting. It's kind of annoying though, because it does take about a minute or two for those games to load, unlike the arcade games that are on this disc. So I'll show you an example. So we'll go ahead and load up Jetpack. And man, everything about this title is incredibly polished, and when I say that I mean this disc, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So at the very bottom you have Snapshots, you have options, you can use your buttons to transition over to the next title. So, for instance, I just hit, you know, the right button, Rare Replay, and see how it's going through the various titles. So we can press B to back out. Now, I was really well animated and whatnot, but to me, it is a little cumbersome. It's just not as fast as it should be. I don't know. I guess it's all about, you know, what you're interested in. So we'll go ahead and fire this up. We'll hit A to play, and notice how it jumps right into the title. Okay, now check this out. Okay, this brings up something here. Notice how we have the new achievement. This game is incredibly generous when it comes to providing you with achievements. A lot of times you can just access a game, and bam, you're good to go, like you just saw right there. So we are going to hit start to play this title, and our little dude is going to appear. Gosh, it's unforgiving. My favorite title here is the one on the the Xbox 360. It's the refueled one. Gosh, it's awesome. Yeah, this one will definitely take some time to get used to. But notice how we have the blank, we have the black bars to the left and right of the screen. Well, you can actually press and hold start, and that'll bring up your options menu, right? And you can go down to the options. You have controls, and then you have game options. And you just press your right button to switch over. Now check this out. We have the filter, CRT off. Screen borders on, and that's it. There's not a way to force it into like a widescreen mode. So if you want to, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to finagle with your television settings, which I really just dislike. I don't want to have to do that. And yeah, I really dislike that mode. So we're going to press and hold start, go back into options, and we're going to turn off that CRT nonsense, the filter there. I guess we'll leave the borders on. And here we go. So, it helps out some, I guess. I don't know. Pressing and holding down A. Fortunately, you can change the control scheme. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, so exiting these games really isn't a big deal if you're playing like one of these old arcade titles, that is. So, we're going to press and hold start. And we are going to go down to exit game. Press A. Notice how we have save there, so you can save your title just about any time you want to, which is great. So if you happen to die, then you can kind of go back to where you once were. So that all works all fine and dandy. Let's show you guys what happens when you play like an N64 title. And to do that, we will hit up Killer Instinct Gold. Man, I used to play this game all the time back in the day on the Nintendo 64. Gosh, it was freaking great. And even using that horrific controller, we still made it work, you know? I may be alone in this, but man, I absolutely hated this control. Or the control... Hold on a second. We do not want to play as her. I will say that the control scheme on this is actually improved, in my opinion. You know, when compared to the Nintendo 64 control, it's very responsive. Everything is really well mapped out. When you guys load this game, the first thing I would do is go into options, and I would scroll down to blood. By default, it's turned to off, so you may want to turn that on if that's your thing. Anyway, so just pointing that out. Let's go ahead and go back up to arcade. Notice we have like the border and everything around the screen. Yeah, you're just gonna have to either get used to that, or you can turn it off and just have the black bar. So, yeah, I don't know what the right option is there. I guess it's all about preference. We'll go with purple Jago, and you'll notice that with characters like this, man, it really does work well with the Xbox One control. Oh man, you still absolutely love this game. Yeah, so if you're a fan, I would love to hear about it. Man, post down below in the comment section and let's chit chat about that. Anyways, yep, it works as it should. So we can press and hold the start button, and it brings up our menu. Let's see what options we have for controls. Yep, we can also turn the screen borders on and off. And there is not a filter setting for this game, nor is there the ability to save your state. So just FYI. Anyways, we'll go ahead and exit, and we will back out. Next up, let's play some Blast Corps. I cannot speak highly enough about this game. Gosh, I used to play this all the time back in the day, and it was absolutely amazing. One of my favorite Nintendo 64 titles, and it looked amazing then, and even now, it still looks great, running in high definition on the Xbox One. It's pretty freaking cool. So I'm not exactly certain as to why the nukes are set on the little tractor trailer, but the gist of the game is the thing's not going to stop, and you have to destroy everything in its path. Otherwise, the nukes are going to go off. So you are set out in various vehicles, ranging from like a dump truck to a tractor to robots and things like that. And you have to destroy buildings and whatnot. So in this case, destroy buildings in 3 minutes, 0 seconds, and we'll race around. Yep, so the controls and everything work beautifully on the Xbox One, And, gosh, this is just so much fun. So, 7 out of 11 buildings have been destroyed. Notice that in the top left-hand corner. We'll go ahead and bust that box. That counted as something, right? And this little pile right here. Now, what this is doing is just kind of getting you used to playing the game.
You're just trying to
and that is it. And if you heard that sound, no, that's not Street Fighter, but yet, yes, that is my notification tone. That is my phone notifying me that there was an earthquake. And just, if you guys are curious, we're looking at earthquake in Indonesia, 4.7. Pretty interesting stuff. Anyways, yeah, I happen to like reading about that kind of thing. Let's scope out. This guy's sideswipe is pretty cool. Alright. So, yeah, notice it has the things coming out of the sides. Well, it works well. We have 1 minute to destroy all this nonsense. You have to get used to the controls. I kind of forgot how it's all set up. Anyway, so we're pressing X to make that go off. Alright, L and R control the forward momentum and reverse. Alright, oh my gosh. This thing is as good as done. There we go. Yeah, so, yeah, it's a joy to play this game. I think you guys are going to really like it. One thing that's really amazing, we talked about the achievement points. This game, in this disc, this compilation is riddled with achievements. In fact, I think there's like 30,000 of them, which is really, really neat. 30,000 achievement points. Anyways, pretty excited about that. I happen to love obtaining achievement points. So if you're in the same boat, man, I'd love to hear about it. In fact, why don't you tell us how many achievement points you've been able to accumulate so far? Okay, so we have Jet Force Gemini, we have Perfect Dark, and all those great titles. Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I never did play that one, but I've heard it was pretty good. I did play Jet Force Gemini on the N64 back in the day, and let's go ahead and access that one. And what's happening, pal? Hope you're doing great. Shout out to Kelrobotic. Hope you're having a great day, man. So let's go ahead and fire that up. Now check this out. If it plays out like any of the other titles, there's going to be an update. Okay, well, not in this case, but in Conker's Bad Fur Day, there's another achievement point. Achievement is pretty cool. But games like Banjo and whatnot, gosh, and there's another one. That's amazing. Yeah, there's been updates that you've had to download. Like, I think one was like 200 megabytes, something along those lines. It's just kind of weird, having those titles installed and then having the updates roll out, just like it would be a Xbox One title. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set up our name. Anyways, I just want you guys to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. A lot of these titles will take up precious hard drive space. The control here, it does okay. It's not quite as responsive as the other games, at least in that screen right there. So, notice how that one went completely full screen for the cutscene. That's kind of cool. And, man, it looks pretty freaking polished, does it not? So, while that's playing, let's go ahead and talk about this. So, this game came out on August the 4th, and like we said, it does have a collection of 30 previously developed games by Rare, and its predecessor known as Ultimate Play the Game. And so, combined, they have a history of like 30 years of developing games, ranging from, or starting off with the ZX Spectrum all the way to the Xbox 360. Anyways, the emulated games are presented with minimal edits, so most of them stay true to their original counterparts, and that is pretty freaking neat. The compilation does add cheats to make the older games easier, and a snapshot mode of specific challenges culled from parts of the games. And as players progress, they are awarded with behind-the-scene footage and interviews about Rare's major and unreleased games. Anyways, the compilation was one of several ideas Rare's considered to celebrate their 30th anniversary. That's pretty amazing. Inspired by fans, upcoming Xbox One backwards compatibility features and efforts to connect Rare's past and the future, the company actually went through 120 games and selected the best of the best. And, you know, I think that's kind of surprising because I didn't know that there was 120 games originally anyways that Rare had developed. So that's pretty crazy cool. Anyways, we have to definitely say thanks to Microsoft for bringing this out at such a reasonable price point at $30. In a lot of places you can actually find it for less than that, so that's really, really awesome. Anyways, reviews for this game that I've noticed from other places have been pretty freaking great. And I have to say, I agree. I love everything about it, with the exception of the black bars and everything on the sides when you're playing some of like the older games, and the inability to stretch it completely widescreen. But outside of that, I really enjoy the majority of these titles. In fact, I haven't even had the opportunity to play through them all. But yeah, I've been really, really impressed, and it's been a great collection for achievement points and all that good stuff. So, Rare Replay was actually, it started off in development in 2014, and it's pretty neat because they figured that only a few companies, could last or have lasted for, 30 years, and they wanted to do something unique, and boy, they sure did, didn't they? They really, really did something unique and out of the ordinary. How many titles have we seen like this come out from other game developers? Not many, if ever any, Anyway, so we we just updated ourselves, upped our level to Spectator 2, and it's basically saying that, we've been playing through a boatload of games and everything, and that's pretty cool. So in that process, we unlocked a gallery entry. So we went ahead and selected that. We're going to go ahead and visit that, and you guys can get an idea as to what that looks like. And so, hey, what's happening, sir? Hope you're doing great. A big shout out to you, my friend. And so, let's go ahead and click on Featurette. See what we have listed here. And so you can actually watch several videos where they're talking about like the making of these video games, like Viva Pinata and Conkers and all that good stuff. It's really, really cool. And so we haven't unlocked that much, but it's really neat that that's available there. So if you have some downtime and you want to kick back and relax, maybe before you go to bed, man, you could fire up something like that. So let's go through and look at some of these other titles. You guys have seen my video of Jetpack Refueled. Man, it's awesome. Do not waste any time. Trust me, play that game. You're going to love it. In fact, if you have an Xbox One, hit me up, send me a message. I would love to play multiplayer with you. Let's scope out Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Really interested in this game. It just looks like it's a really fun third-person title. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a 360 game, so once you click on that, this should exit to the Xbox 360 emulator. And again, we just unlocked another achievement. This game is incredibly generous when it comes to that kind of thing. Microsoft Game Studios. This game actually came out for the Xbox One. Yeah, that does actually seem right. So, with our game reviews, we do not provide like a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. It's just not our style. But guys, I really suggest that if you're a sucker for the old school games and even some of the re-releases that Rare has provided to us via like Xbox Live and whatnot, I really recommend that you stop what you're doing, you go out and pick this game up. If you happen to be a fan of just earning achievements and whatnot, stop what you're doing and go and pick up this game. You really can't go wrong. Check that out. Double ends on the Iratron. What? What? Yeah, cutscenes. Pretty interesting style for sure. Rare really was the master, at least back in the day. Can't speak too much about their more recent titles, but gosh. it's really neat that with the re-release of Killer Instinct for the Xbox One, how it includes, you know, the Killer Instinct original title as well as Killer Instinct 2, the arcade editions. I think that's pretty neat. I'll tell you what, we're not going to continue with this, but I would definitely play that all in time. If you guys would like to see a playthrough of some of these games, you have to post down below. Let us know what you would like to see us play, okay? Okay, next up, let's scroll over to some of these Xbox 360 titles. Jetpack, we know definitely is. Perfect Dark Zero, I have yet to play, but we know that it is too. Let's scope this one out. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 360 release, and basically what that means is that this has been slightly censored from the Nintendo 64 version. And so, you know, this is a pretty crude game. In fact, this is actually notifying us before we proceed any further. It says, hey, Conker's Bad Fur Day contains crude humor and scenes that some players may find offensive. Do you wish to continue? Yes, we do. I think that's pretty interesting indeed. For mature audiences only. I wonder if it'll give us an achievement. That would be pretty funny. Sure enough, an extra 20. Guys, we're just racking them up. And, you know, it's funny, this is not the 360 edition. I was thinking that it was with, like, the polished fur and all that good stuff. And so, that's okay. But what I really want to show you guys is, show you what it looks like when you actually load up the Xbox 360 emulator. So, what we'll do is, we will fire up Banjo and Kazooie. Alright, here we go. And fortunately with the Xbox 360 titles, they will load up and widescreen. So it says here, to quit playing an Xbox 360 title and return to Rare Replay, press and hold the menu button. Any unsaved progress will be lost. Be sure to save your game. So we'll go ahead and press A, and check this out. So looks really cool. The man, the screens and everything look neat. The resolution's awesome as well. But pay special attention to the load times. And right there you go. Notice how it's going into that emulator mode. Feels good to see the Xbox 360 start up once again. Gosh, what a great console. You know, we have like one of the fatter ones, the white model. It came out right before the Slim. And this is after I went through 3 or 4... yeah, Xbox 360s. Man, so far this one's been pretty freaking solid. It's lasted a long time. I can't wait for the Xbox 360 live titles to become available. I'm hoping that Terraria will. Gosh, that'd be neat with all of our all items maps and whatnot. Anyway, see, notice how this is all working. Signing us into Xbox Live. It's neat how it's being emulated and yet it's still logging in through all the various services. Anyway, so notice how smooth it is? Even with it being emulated, this runs really well. Now, I will say that it's not 100% smooth, and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is a prime example of that. Anyways, just really, really, really super neat. And this game is a ton of fun. The kids and I have been playing quite a bit, and having a really good time. And I know that you will really enjoy it. Huh. Yep, can't wait to play this game some more. But I wanted to show that to you, so if we wanted to exit back to it, we're going to press and hold down Start, and notice how it's loading the Rare Replay thing at the very bottom, and it will navigate us to where we need to be. But like it states, you know, you really need to be careful about doing that, because if you haven't saved, you're going to lose all your progress. In that case, you know, we just fire it up. You know, and see, now it's loading it up again, booting off of the disc. It's just really kind of weird, in my opinion. So, yeah, one thing to consider when you're playing this title. Anyways, guys, that's about it for our review. I think you have a really good idea as to what this disc will provide to you, and the kind of games and everything that you'll be playing. It's really, really neat. I highly recommend it, even if it is for just obtaining the easy achievements. Anyway, so we want to hear what you have to say. Post down below if you'd like to see us review any other games. Ah, that feels so good. Definitely let us know. Head over to our Facebook page if you like the social media thing. And folks, we hope you have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Hoorah!
Rock like this, rock like that. Go ahead and get your grown man on. Drop it like this, drop it like that. Go ahead and get your grown woman on. Give me a bag of good and a blunt to drink, cause everyone too tough to be rocking like this. So come on, shake the load up, come on, shake loose your stress. I got a busy yak and I can't miss my chance, cause shorty looking too good with the way she dance. So come on, shake the load up, come on, shake loose your stress.